Welcome today, everybody, to our webinar. Today's webinar is very, very interesting. I think it's a hot topic because it's something that many of our viewers are thinking about. I know there are many viewers out there who are probably afraid about this topic, and it's something that they want to ask, and no matter where they go, they can't seem to get the right answer because answers are pretty extreme, you know? But today we're gonna answer that age-old question, all right, which is, where do you go when mainstream medicine, the options in mainstream medicine are not giving you the results that you want, all right? And that definitely leads to alternative medicine. And what is alternative medicine? And now the buzzword is integrative medicine. And what does that mean? Does that mean that you abandon mainstream medicine? Is it a complete alternative? Which is better? So we're gonna answer all those rather controversial sounding questions, but it's all gonna be founded on truth. And today I'd like to introduce our guest doctor, a good friend of mine, Dr. Meddie. Now she's the director of the Holistic Integrative Clinic. It's right now in Makati, and I've known her for 2 years, all right? And right now, Dr. Meddie and her clinic, they're moving all the way to Quezon City. So those of you who are in Quezon City, good news for you. Dr. Meddie is coming your way. She's in the process of renovating her very, big clinic now in QC. So her practice is growing from strength to strength. And it's our pleasure today to have Dr. Meddie with us. So welcome, Dr. Meddie.
Good afternoon, everyone, to all our listeners and televiewers. Good afternoon. I'm Dr. Meddie of Holistic Integrative Care Center, Medical Director, and also Medical Director of Alta Integrative Wellness Complex in Perpetual Health, Las Piñas.
Oh, wow. So the last one, the Integrative Complex, this is actually an integrative clinic in a hospital.
Yes, it's inside the hospital. We are part of the hospital right now, and we have our own department. It's called Alta Integrative Medicine and Wellness Complex.
Wow. Okay, let's jump straight into the topic. I will start today's webinar, Doc, by just saying the things that are on everybody's mind, which is alternative medicine or the same as integrative medicine? I mean, that is something that I think is out there in the market. And I think our viewers just want to know what happens when mainstream medicine, which is like they're taking their drugs, their maintenance drugs, or they have cancer and they're doing chemotherapy. And sometimes I think for many cancer patients, they reach a point where chemotherapy, even oncologists say that there's nothing more they can do for them. And where do they go next? So could you just enlighten us a little bit about, first of all, is there a difference between alternative and integrative medicine?
Okay, that's a very good question. Actually, it's a very good question to relieve us of any confusion.
Yeah.
So the very first thing that we have to do is to define what conventional medicine is first, because conventional medicine is one of the it's huge right now. It's what we do. It's what we become after we finish our medical doctor degree. Yeah, after our medicine course, we are now a full-fledged medical doctor, and we are good to practice conventional medicine. So conventional medicine is a very good modality that uses drugs, tablets, or prescription medicines to treat symptoms and to treat illnesses.
All right. Okay.
Yes. So we have to finish around 10 years of medical study, and then we have to have our board licensing exam.
All right.
In order for us to practice medical conventional medicine.
Okay.
So the other side of conventional medicine is what we call alternative medicine.
Alternative medicine.
Yes, alternative medicine. So alternative medicine uses herbs.
Okay.
Uses natural substances.
All right.
To actually heal.
All right.
And treat the root causes of the problems.
Okay.
That's why a lot of people, they tell us that, hey, if you're practicing natural medicine or alternative medicine,
Mm-hmm.
The symptoms actually does not come off as quickly as when you take tablets and when you take capsules. It's a very good definition of alternative medicine and conventional medicine. Alternative medicine doesn't actually use synthetic drugs. They use natural tablets and
All right.
natural supplements to help alleviate the root cause of the problem, not just the symptoms.
All right. All right.
Yes. So usually, alternative practitioners are the ones that they're naturopaths. We call them ND. That's a naturopathic doctor.
All right. Okay. Yeah, that's another term here, naturopathic doctor.
Naturopathic doctor. Yes. So the ones that are good to practice natural medicines are naturopaths. They're NDs.
Can I check? Do you have to be a medical doctor to be a naturopath doctor?
You don't have to be. Naturopathy, it's actually around 2 years of training.
All right.
There are training centers here in the Philippines.
All right.
And after you've done the training of naturopathic medicine, you're good now to practice naturopathy. But the thing is, they don't have their licensure exam.
Okay. So there is no uniform body that certifies a naturopathic doctor.
True, yes.
Oh.
The medical doctor has examining body.
Yes.
Yes, we have our own licenses.
Yes.
A naturopath.
Yes.
Not.
Oh,
but
wow.
They underwent 2 years of study.
Okay.
To practice natural medicine.
Oh, another important question. Since we started with the definitions, let's talk about the legality. So is there laws that protect or enable a naturopath to practice in Philippines? I mean, is it legal to be a practicing naturopath?
Yes, it's actually legal right now to practice natural medicine or naturopathy in the Philippines. There is a body that protects naturopaths, and it's actually called PTAC.
So yeah, this is what is the term?
Albulario. Albulario, yes. But albularios are quite different, okay? Albularios are the ones found on the barrios or on the provinces.
Okay.
Usually, they are not actually trained.
All right.
But through experience,
okay,
they were able to concoct some herbs. That the people on the provinces, they believe that albularios, they have a good healing ability.
All right. So something mystical.
Yes.
Natural.
Yes. I grew up in a province. I grew up in Zambales. So when I was little, I went to many albularios. I had my asthma when I was small, and my mother said that yes. My mother said that I really have huge attacks. I often went to the hospital. Maybe that's one of the reasons I became a doctor, because I am often in the hospitals because of my asthma. I got it from my father. He has asthma, and he passed on to me the asthma attack. So when the doctors cannot, hey, she has another asthma attack, it's twice in this week. So my mother, out of panic and out of anxiety, she calls our usual albularios.
Wow.
And do you know what the albulario does with me?
No, please. I'm very curious. I'm very curious.
So he will get a samat leaf. Samat, it's a heart-shaped leaf.
All right.
And then he heats it up in a candle.
Okay.
And then swallows it. And then chew it. And then spit it out.
Oh no!
And then he will apply it to my body.
What happened? Did it help? Yes. Did it help? Did it work?
My mother says it may have helped because I'm alive right now. But this is the controversial thing. This is this is a twist. When I was a doctor, when I'm a new doctor,
Yes.
that albulario became my patient.
Oh!
Yeah. And do you know his problem? He has very multiple drug resistant tuberculosis.
Oh, wow! Maybe because of all the leaf.
Yeah. Imagine all the people that she has, chewed and spit on.
So I mean, right now, viewers out there, I think you're having. I hope you're enjoying yourself. There's Dr. Meddie. She's a medical doctor, and she's sharing her own experience with the other. But then again, Doc, you actually went into alternative and integrative medicine, right? So it's strange that you're sharing about this albulario, but yet you yourself right now are on this alternative track. I mean, of course, I think the big question that comes to all our viewers is that you're a doctor. Why did you, and you spent years studying to qualify and pass the bar, right? And do your, what's that called, housemanship, right? You get to serve as basically you spend so many years. And I remember you were a very successful ER doctor. You were serving in the emergency room.
Yes. I used to be a public hospital doctor in the provinces, because when I passed a board exam, it was one wish both of my parents asked of me.
Okay.
Wish that upon passing my board exam, I will serve our town.
Wow.
Yes.
I salute you for that, because in Singapore, every doctor, our parents will tell us, be a doctor so that you can earn a lot of money. But your parents wanted you to serve the community.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, but as an ER doctor, why did you leave all that behind? What made you? Well, tell us your story. How did you end up exploring integrative medicine?
Well, I enjoyed being a conventional doctor. I enjoyed my duties inside the hospital because I really see a lot of people cured of their diseases. But you know what? When I get to practice every day for several years, I got tired. I got tired because it's the usual cough and colds and fever, body weakness, cough and colds and fever. It's just the usual patients. And then there was one time that we had a very huge, devastating news in our family.
Oh,
my dad had multi-organ failure.
Wow,
multi-organ failure. Yeah, failure of the heart because he has a huge heart.
Okay.
Failure of the kidneys.
Wow.
He almost got into dialysis.
Oh, wow.
And also failure of the lungs because of the severe asthma attack.
Wow.
Yeah, all the three organs they began to fail, and then he was intubated. Do you know the tube that from the mouth directly to the lungs? He was intubated 3 times.
Wow. So I'm was glad that they had a doctor in the family. So everybody must be looking at you for the answers.
True. And as a doctor, you know what? The hardest decision I ever got myself into was sign my father's waiver for him to be intubated.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. I signed the paper with trembling hands and knees. But it's very hard. It's very hard. I do not wish anybody will be under that situation. So my father had multi-organ failure. He was sent to the ICU.
Okay.
He was there for around a month. And one of the most challenging part of our story is, aside from the desperation that we experienced, is actually the finances.
Yeah, it's so expensive. It can get really
In a tertiary private hospital in Manila, we went into for around a month, and the hospital bill is really huge.
Yeah.
Millions, in fact. So parang we were shocked. Yes, all the emotions were overflowed with how are we going to pay the hospital bill.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
We weren't ready for it.
Yeah.
So, luckily, we were able to overcome the challenge.
Okay.
And then that specific desperate moment in my life that I see my father in his hospital bed with multi-organ failure, intubated. I figured, I asked myself, what can I do to help my dad?
Yeah.
Because because the mortality rate of multi-organ failure is, do you know the statistics?
No, what is the chances?
The mortality rate of multi-organ failure is 52% in 2 days.
Wow. So you could really lose your dad in 2 days in a roll of a dice.
Yes. Yes. That is what they call 50-50 chances.
Yeah. Wow. Praise God, your dad is with you now, right?
Yeah.
All right.
I asked myself, what can I do to help my dad?
Okay.
And then he was able to survive that moment. He was discharged after a month, but when he was discharged, all his body is shaking. Maybe because of all the medicines he underwent, and his body has really absorbed into.
Okay.
Yes. And then that was when I figured integrative medicine.
Okay, because you were because everything that you knew at that point, you've tried, and no more. You ran out of options. Exactly like the title of our webinar today, when you run out of options, and the doctors tried their best, right? The doctors did their best, and they discharged your dad. All right. So you are in the position where our listeners are.
Yes.
True. And what did you do, and then what did you do?
So that specific challenge challenged us as a family and me as a doctor. What can I do to help my dad? So out of desperation, it led me to integrative medicine.
Okay. So tell us your journey in integrative medicine.
My journey. it was not, I didn't figure it will be as hard and it will be as expensive, but I think for me it has actually been paid off. I mean, I figured that before you go into integrative medicine, you have to have a change of heart.
Oh, wow. Okay, change of heart. Why a change?
Yes. Your heart must open.
Okay.
So maybe one of the requirements maybe of being an integrative doctor is they are medical doctors that has had a change of heart.
Doc Meddie, I just sorry to interrupt you, but SimplyNature, we work with a lot of integrative doctors, and I would say 95% or maybe even 8% of all our doctors are actually medical doctors. Yes. And I meet all of them just like I met you. And you know what? I was always very curious. So when I get to know the doctors a little bit more, I always ask them the same story. Why did you give up traditional medical practice? Why did you come down to this integrative practice, which has many challenges, right? People are doubtful. Your old colleagues will look at you like, what did you do? Why did you give up years of commitment and go down this road, right? And
crazy.
and the answer is all the same. Actually, I realized that for medical doctors to go down the road of integrative, to be an integrative doctor, something extreme happened. And all of them, same story. Someone they love, usually a family member, and more often than not is their parents, had a medical condition where all their knowledge, it couldn't solve it. So they didn't want to give up because they were all doctors, right? So they didn't want to give up. They just decided to go beyond their textbook. And many of the integrative doctors actually explored things that when they were doctors, they would say, no, this is nonsense. But when you're desperate, right, you start to look at the thing with a change of heart, right? You don't shut the thing down. You explore it with an inquisitive, objective mind. Is that what you did? Because I know you travel all over the world.
Yes, I figured because there is no integrative medicine training in the Philippines.
Yeah. So where did you go?
Yeah. So I checked on where is the integrative medicine training in the Philippines. There is none. But there are naturopathic training in the Philippines.
All right.
So I think when you have a change of heart, we have to revisit. Because when we went on to our medicine course,
Yes.
there was no, as in maybe 3 hours, 4 hours of nutrition course, but it's like almost none of natural medicine course. We do not have any specific curriculum for alternative medicine or for natural medicine.
But now it's different, Doc. I have medical students in my church, and they share with me that now in medicine they actually talk more about natural medicines and not. So
yeah, true. The world is changing.
Wait, but tell us your story. So where did you go to get all the knowledge that you got?
So I went to US. I went to US, went back here after finishing some courses, and then went to Aruba.
Okay, Aruba.
Right. Yes, it's really a long way to go. I finished my ozone courses there because I'm part of the Ozone Without Borders. It's a very good organization, yes, of all the ozone practitioners worldwide.
Ozone. Wow, I think our viewers have never even heard of what that is. We'll go into that, but please continue. Where else did you go and what did you...
Okay. So aside from that, I frequent now Malaysia, Japan, and also Australia.
Okay. And what are some of the programs that when you go to such countries, what do you learn? I mean, what are the conferences? Why are you there?
Yes. I figure that other countries are more open with integrative medicine, and they are actually open to integrations with other countries, and they are the ones who are teaching our fellow integrative medicine practitioners on the proper formulations of intravenous. There are courses for IV nutrients. There are actually courses for other, like Gerson therapy. There are courses for natural supplementations, and there are huge courses on different things that is outside of the box of conventional medicine. But the thing is, there are many evidences linked with their effectivity and efficacy.
Okay.
So yeah.
So just so that again, I think what's important for our viewers to realize is, and I want to ask the next question is this: when you went to attend all these programs, right? When you went, like for example, ozone treatment or intravenous nutrient protocols, when you attended all these and you learned about all these new perspective and protocols, did it clash with your medical training, or did it actually make sense to you as a doctor?
It actually made sense to me.
Oh.
Because clashing, I believe clashing only comes when you have a closed mind.
So why did it seem to clash before, and when you... Okay, wait. First, the question again. So actually, when you went to all these programs, it's not hocus pocus. It's not an abalario program, right?
Yes, true. It's actually evidence-based medicine.
All right. Okay. It's just that. So it made sense. It coincided. Did it contradict anything you learned in medicine school?
Did it contradict anything? Some might have, but most that it did to me is actually it opened my mind. It opened my mind that there are many that we have a very good healing body. That our body is actually able to heal itself. Like just what's happening right now, like during our quarantine. The earth is actually healing itself.
Yeah. I mean, nature itself, all the animals are coming.
Even without us. So this specific the what's happening right now, nature can heal itself, and our body is actually part of nature. And if we just let our natural ability
Mm.
we are actually able to heal ourselves.
Doc, I totally agree with you.
Yes, yes. We just have to have a very good condition in order for our body to let our body heal itself. Yeah, yeah.
To all our viewers out there, again, I'm very privileged because I get to meet wonderful doctors like Dr. Meddie, and I'm also privileged because I'm not Filipino. I'm a Singapino. I'm a Singaporean who has fallen in love with Philippines. And just for all the viewers out there, all right, I just want to let you know, I come from the similar background to Doc Meddie. I studied in the US, so I'm very westernized. In fact, my own family members accuse me of being a banana, yellow outside, white inside. I'm so Western. And in my family, my cousins are doctors. They're MDs. In fact, my cousins are very accomplished in Singapore. A few of them are actually top in their field as cardiologists, all right? And they rank the top few cardiologists, even though they're very young in Singapore. So I come from a family that actually, like yourself, Dr. Meddie, we have a very logical, traditional orientation. But I'm also fortunate that I'm Chinese, and in Singapore, there's a very strong traditional Chinese medicine culture. So and Chinese medicine has a 5,000-year history, right? And acupuncture.
It's really effective.
It's really effective, but it's so weird, right? You poke needles in a person and they get healed. I mean, how do you compare that with, pharmaceutical drugs or surgery, right? Which seems so much more logical to the normal person than you take a needle and you poke a person at a certain point of their body and they get healed, right? So, but you know what? That's exactly the case. I'm very happy to say that in Singapore, the traditional Chinese medicine has now progressed to the point that all traditional Chinese doctors are certified by a board. So they are the same as MDs. And in fact, if you see a Chinese doctor, it's usually more expensive than a conventional medicine. But in Singapore now, Chinese medicine is now considered conventional already. And I thought some of the protocols you're using in the near future will be conventional, especially the intravenous protocols. I think putting vitamin E, vitamins straight into bloodstream, that's something that even hospitals are starting to look at it, right?
Yes, it's actually being integrated to hospitals, to ICUs right now, into other regular rooms inside the hospital. They're actually using it in combination with other modalities.
And this is the part where I think China is very progressive. And here, sorry, Doc, to interrupt you, but I just wanted to reinforce everything Dr. Meddie is sharing. She's sharing her story from a Philippine perspective, and it's a journey of a doctora, a Filipina doctora, right? And I just want to share that it's the same here in the other countries in the world. And China is one that the story is much more positive. The reason is because before conventional medicine went into China, the Chinese were already practicing Chinese medicine. And they had the almanacs, their books, their schools, apprenticeship, and it's a 5,000-year history. So what happened is in China, doctors study both at the same time. So you have a med student who has to study herbs as well. So they don't have that. They didn't need to open their heart because their heart was never closed. They were forced to do both at the same time. And that's why in China, the moment you get cancer, immediately your oncologist, your Chinese oncologist, will schedule you for supportive integrative acupuncture to support you through chemotherapy. So it's actually the oncologist that is actually working with the acupuncturist in a Chinese hospital. So am I correct that that's what the integrative doctors in Philippines, is that where you guys are trying, is that how you view treatment and your cooperation with conventional medicine? that is
That is
meant.
actually, yes. That is our mission and vision in the Philippines, that we as integrative doctors get acceptance first.
Mm.
Get acceptance because our other colleagues, our other medical doctor colleagues, they don't believe in the practice of alternative medicine for first and foremost. Then, if a doctor does not believe in the practice of natural medicine, they actually close their minds on integrative medicine. That is our challenge right now.
Mm.
To have acceptance from our colleagues
Mm.
that integrative medicine is the future of medicine.
Oh, a combination. Right? That's the future.
Yes, just like what you did, it's a combination, conventional and also alternative medicine.
To our viewers out there, I love what Dr. Meddie is saying, and since I'm interviewing her today, and I'm having fun doing that, I wanted to highlight to all our viewers exactly, you heard it straight from Dr. Meddie herself, right? It's not, you can hear she wants her colleagues, the other doctors, to be able to see and work with her. So I think today, this afternoon, we have dispelled the notion. It's not true that your alternative doctors are in conflict with the conventional medicine. That
True.
I think that's one thing that I want everyone to realize, because I get to speak to all of them. And I want to highlight this by a particular story that drew me and Dr. Meddie together. And actually, it's a young boy by the name of Dominic. All right. Yeah, I think Dominic allowed Dr. Meddie and me to get to know each other even more, especially our patients. So anyway, Dominic is a 4-year-old who has nose cancer and very aggressive. So Dominic's parents actually don't want to go for chemotherapy, and they got free chemotherapy from PGH because they qualified for the grant. But even with the free chemotherapy, they didn't want to do it. Instead, they wanted to go all natural, and they came to look for Doc Meddie. And Doc, what did you say to them, and what did you recommend for Dominic?
Yeah, when I saw Dominic, I figured, hey, he's so young, and his parents actually are blindsided with having alternative medicine.
So this is the reverse.
Yeah.
Normally, is people blindsided and don't want alternative. Now it's the reverse.
Yeah, it's the reverse. They're blindsided to just doing alternative therapy, all natural medicine. They do not like any chemotherapy done to Dominic, their child. So when I browsed all the documents, all the laboratory tests, I figured, hey, I think I told the parents that I think it's better to combine Dominic's case with chemotherapy. They were actually shocked.
They were shocked. I'm sure the parents came to you.
Cried.
They came to you hoping that you'll tell them everything natural, and you told them exactly what they didn't want to hear, which is go for chemotherapy.
Yes, they were shocked that I told them, you know what? I think Dominic will benefit with chemotherapy and also natural therapy. I do believe that chemotherapy will have a great deal in shrinking the tumor that is really huge on his neck and also on his face. Yes, and then it will be very good for us to combine chemotherapy and natural medicine to shrink the tumor, but natural medicine to decrease the side effects of chemotherapy.
Wow, perfect marriage, right?
Yes, perfect marriage. So even though they didn't believe it at first, I was actually able to convince them. And then I told them, you know what, don't close your mind to conventional medicine, because conventional medicine actually, they want the best for your child too. It's just that they may be side effects.
Yeah.
And those side effects can actually be lowered down with natural substances. And then when they figured it out, okay, I have a point. I think they said that I think Dr. Meddie has a point. And then they went back to PGH with their usual oncologist. And then they started chemotherapy, but this time it's different. This time, chemotherapy with pparrs.
Yeah, that's where we came. Yeah. And the good news is Dominic actually went for 42. Oh my God, the number boggles my mind. 42 sessions of chemo and radiation therapy. Ooh, that's crazy,
True.
right?
For a 5-year-old.
And now he's 5 years old. I just went for his McDonald's happy birthday with him and his sister. So Dominic is doing well. Big thank you to Doc Meddie and to
Big
all.
thank you to Sean. Yes.
A very crazy example, but I want our viewers out there who are joining us to see, you know, if you thought that an integrative doctor will shy away from conventional, we have a perfect example here. We have an alternative integrative doctor persuading a patient who was committed to all natural to go back to conventional medicine. I think that's what I want all the viewers today to realize. I think in every discipline, right, there are the ones who practice correctly and the ones who don't practice correctly. So there are always good and bad doctors, no matter where you go. I think the important thing that we realize today that actually principle behind integrative doctors is still founded on the same principles as conventional. And
yes.
Doc Meddie, when you did your studies, right, everything that you studied in medicine, of biochemistry, everything, all that was necessary for you to understand ozone treatment, intravenous vitamins. Yeah, right? It's not like, so it's all the same principles. And so wow, fantastic. Now, Doc, since we are talking about integrative medicine, so could you just give us in a brief, just so that viewers out there who've never explored conventional medicine, what are some of the major avenues and protocols that you do? So let's talk about things that are quite interesting. Like, okay, I think people always hear about intravenous. So what are some intravenous protocols that you do at your clinic?
Okay, there are plenty. What we do are updated intravenous protocols right now. So our center, it's called Holistic Integrative Care Center. The very first when you go inside the center, what we request for every patient is a comprehensive integrative medicine consultation. Okay, so you
a medical background, arts and everything, all right? So you do blood work, CBC and all that. You require to see patient CBC and all that as well?
Yes, of course, because it has to be evidence-based.
Okay.
We have to establish first all the diagnostic methods, just like the usual conventional physician. But we have to also check on what are the other causes that might appear in other laboratories. For example, when during my conventional practice, I rarely ask for like vitamin Ds. But in my practice right now, I realize that a lot of cancer patients are really low on vitamin D.
Yes.
Imagine, they're really low on vitamin D. So what a comprehensive integrative medical consultation does is, number one, it does what comprehensive, it does conventional practice, it does the usual conventional consultation. But the thing is, the difference is the time. Number one, the time. We usually spend around 1 hour for a patient.
Wow, that's a long time for
Yeah. It's a minimum of 1 hour consultation. There are times it takes me around 2 hours, 3 hours for one consultation for one patient. So the number one difference from the usual conventional practice is actually the time spent to the patient, because what we're doing is actually patient-centered practice.
Okay.
Yes.
You spend a lot of time interviewing about the patient's condition, right?
Yeah. Patient's condition, patient's history, and we aim to dig deeper and really solve the root causes of the problem. We do not just aim for the symptoms, because a lot of patients, they actually just want the symptoms to go away.
Yeah.
I do not want you to dig deeper. I just want my cough to go away. But my problem is, it has been happening for me for around 1 year.
Wow.
Yeah. So I tell my patients, you know what? If you do not dig deeper to the root causes of the problem, your problems, your symptoms will always be that way. It will always happen again and happen again, happen again, until it becomes chronic. When it becomes chronic, we have a longer way of treating the problem already. Unless you really would like to open your mind for you to focus on the treatment yourself. You have to own the treatment. You have to own that you will actually be healed. And that is one of the main things that differ us from conventional medicine. We believe that the patient must believe that it is within themselves the cure for what's happening inside of them.
You know, Doc Meddie, here I can't help but want to agree with you because I have been a patient myself too, you know, and I think I want to encourage every person like out there, ask your doctor many questions.
True.
You know, I think now it's very tough to be a conventional doctor or any kind of doctor actually, because I can empathize with all the doctors. Now patients are very difficult to handle because every time a doctor prescribes any drugs to me, I will Google the drug. And I'll ask, Doc, why did you give it to me? They have this side effect and that side effect, right? And then all my doctors are fantastic. They're so patient. They will actually explain to me, yes, this drug has this side effect, but we are prescribing this for you because and on all the reasons, you know, and I realized that what's so important in this whole process is what you just said, Doc. We've got to take an ownership of getting well. I think out there, those of us and all the listeners out there to our webinar today, I want to say one thing: don't blame your doctors. You know, don't put the responsibility of getting well onto the hands of your doctor, because even Doc Meddie, you can see Doc Meddie is always going to abroad to new conventions, so there's always a chance whatever our doctors are telling us today is not the latest. They totally believe in what they are doing and they're doing it from the goodness of their heart. But if they are not updated, they're giving you information that is not updated. I mean, the basic one is we live for a long time, right, Doc Meddie? And conventional nutrition, fats are bad for you. I mean, for decades, fats are bad for you, right? All cardiologists say that, all nutritionists say that. And then I think about 6 years ago, Time Magazine headline a picture of a ball of butter saying we were wrong. Good for you. So here's a good example, right? Are you gonna blame your doctor for them that they were fully convicted? And no. So I think that advice Doc Meddie gave is something so good. We have to take ownership as patients. We take ownership. Ask Doc Meddie, ask your doctors lots and lots of questions. Understand why they're doing what they're doing, and then you choose to the best combination of treatment for yourself. I think that's my advice. Like, I remember Doc was going to share with me about ozone.
Have you had a session of ozone therapy?
Doc promised me ozonization, so I'm gonna go. So, but the first thing that came to my mind is ozone. I mean, that if you have ever smelled ozone, that smells very chemically, right?
Yeah, true.
Yeah, so I was like, huh? What do? You put ozone in my body? I mean, is that healthy? And but before I closed my mind to it, I actually asked Doc Meddie, Doc, did you go for training for this? Is the first question. And if you've gone to Doc Meddie's clinic, you'll see so many certificates, right? So the first thing I realized when I met Doc Meddie is, okay, this is a smart doctor. She's very good. So so she went for training, and then she showed me. It was amazing, right? You took the blood out of the person. The blood was dark red.
Yes.
Because it is depleted in oxygen, right? So and then you run it through, you pump ozone or oxygen into the blood. It becomes bright red, right?
Yes, it becomes bright red.
Then and basically you then, like a blood transfusion, you transfuse it back into the body.
Yes, true, true. That is one of the therapies that we do in HICC. So, ozone therapy is a very good therapy that activates the body's healing process.
Mm.
It increases oxygen. Yeah.
And so then, of course, when I saw that logically, it makes sense. It's the same reason why you were going to the hyperbaric chamber,
True,
right?
true. It's oxygen.
It's like hyperbaric chamber treatment where they put you in a chamber where there's a lot of oxygen, right? So it made sense. It's just that I'm afraid of needles. So that was...
You have to have a session soon, Sean.
This really makes sense because, if you're into sports medicine, you realize that sportsmen were intravenously pump nutrients into them because of their body goes through so much stress.
Yes.
So they need a fast way of doing it. So I said to myself, wait a minute, this makes sense, It's like climbing up a mountain and taking 1,000 breaths of pure oxygen, but you do it through an intravenous way because of speed and convenience. So again, I realized that every protocol that Doc Meddie is sharing with me actually is logical to me. It makes sense. But then again, you just have to make the decision for yourself, right? Are you in the condition that you need ozonization? And one of the reasons why I haven't tried it yet is because I'm afraid that if I try it and I feel so refreshed, I will keep wanting to do it.
The first time I did ozone therapy, I felt I was superwoman. I really felt energized. I really can feel the energy that I realized that, hey, this is the same energy that I felt when I was in my teenager years.
Yes, because when we were younger, we were able to breathe in. Yeah, so like I said, it makes sense, So, wow, to our viewers today, I think today's webinar is a bit more interesting. It was very... Doc shared so many of her personal stories. I really wanted to highlight to our viewers out there and all our PPAR clients, that number one, that it's all still evidence-based. Difficult time sharing PPARs with Doc Meddie. Asked me for so many medical journals, and I thought she was just pushing me off, right? But I found out she actually read all the journals I sent her. So it's I think it really changed my mind. And when she sent Dominic to me, telling me that Dominic has to go for chemotherapy, that caused me to take a look at integrative doctors in a whole different light. And I pray and hope that today's webinar gave you, the viewer, also a new heart, all right, to take a look at what integrative medicine is in Philippines. But I do want to also caution, it's true. In every field, there is the good and the bad.
True.
I think the challenge right now, and I want to be the devil's advocate also, not just promote integrative medicine, I also want to highlight the current challenges. One of the greatest challenge for a consumer like me, a patient, right, looking for an integrative doctor or alternative medicine is this: there is very little assurance for us that the doctor, that the practitioner that we are talking to is qualified. This is something that we, as a patient, we are worried, right? The reason is very simple, right? Every medical doctor who serves in a hospital had to pass a board exam. But alternative doctors, they don't have a board exam. So we don't know whether the school they went to was good. We don't know whether their grades in school was good, whether their training they went through, if they pass a minimum standard. I mean, that's as a patient, as a client, that's really something that I'm concerned with, which is why I only go to you and to our medical doctors. So is there any advice that you have for a patient who is actually trying to look for an integrative doctor and don't want to end up in seeing a Balario instead by mistake? So yeah, any advice to our listeners on how to choose the correct integrative doctor?
Oh, that's a very good question. How to choose a good integrative doctor? First is, if you have known them through referrals, I think it's safe enough for us to Google, search, have an internet search with the integrative doctor, and also check on for the license. Because yes, if that doctor doesn't have any license, then he or she is not licensed to practice any kind of medicine.
So finding a doctor with a medical license at least gives you a assurance that he or she passed the board exam.
Yes, and he has that specific integrative doctor has an ownership to the practice and is well trained to practice what the specialization is. So that's a very good modality for us to background check the integrative doctors and check for the license.
All right.
License of the doctor. Yes. And also when when it's your turn to do the consultation, as Sean said, ask questions. The questions must be geared towards what can I do to myself in order for me to help myself. It's all about helping yourself. Any patient cannot just depend on the doctor to heal. You have to have an ownership. You have to have an ownership to yourself.
Wow.
Because doctors are just coaches. We are health coaches. We can spend some time for you, but we are not there when you go inside your house and order some fast foods. We are not there. So you cannot blame us. During that specific entire consultation, whatever the doctor will tell you, you ask. If you ask the doctor if it's safe, and you ask yourself if that's what you want to do. And then, you know what? Your heart will actually tell you what it wants. And when you feel inside your heart, when you feel that, hey, this is the one for me. This is my kind of doctor. This is the therapy that I would want for myself. Then you are then in a good place.
Wow. Doc, that makes so much sense. It makes more sense, especially in Philippines than in Singapore, because Singaporeans seldom listen to their heart. The Filipinos are very heart-oriented. Another important question is, Doc, when we go to meet an integrative doctor like yourself, right? Should we share with you our conventional medicine protocols that we're going after?
Yes, I would want that.
You're not offended if we say that we want to follow our conventional medicine?
No. I won't be offended. In fact, I ask patients, what did you go through? What specific specializations did you go through, and what were the recommendations? What are the medications that you're currently taking? Because that is a very good holistic way of doing things. I would like my patients to be very honest with me. I would like my patients that, hey, doc, you know what? I would like to integrate your practice. I would like to integrate what you're saying to my other doctors. And what I usually say to my patients are, you know what? I would like that. Can you please explain to me all the medications that you're currently taking and all the recommendations that your other doctors would like you to have, and I will give I will give my opinion if that will be best for you, or will it be time for you to check on other things. I want my patients to actually weigh on things, and they will be the ones to decide, not the doctor. Because the doctor will only tell the patient according to what they know. And since most of the patients were able to check on other doctors too, not just one doctor. They do doctor hopping, Doctor hopping, doctor 1, 2, 3. There are times I'm the 9th doctor that they consulted to. So I am not offended with that. I actually want that because it challenges me. And it goes to say that that specific patient actually want the best for themselves.
That's why they're checking out different doctors.
Yeah, Dr. Happing.
Yeah, in fact, you know, when I talk to doctors who are sick do a lot of doctor hopping.
True, true.
The doctors are very knowledgeable, so they will always ask questions among their own doctors, colleagues, and they get the best answer. So I thank you, Doc Meddie. You know, I asked that question so that all our viewers can experience what actually goes through in an integrative doctor's mind if you found the correct one. All right. So out there, if you're a first timer and you were attracted to our webinar because of the title, where conventional medicine is not working for you anymore. I wanted to make sure that you went down the correct road. You know, if you're that listener, I didn't want you to jump off the deep end and go all up. Right? I wanted you to realize that you don't abandon the wisdom and the foundation of conventional medicine, right? So, and I wanted to give you an idea that when you go out there and look for an integrative or alternative doctor, that Dr. Meddie will set a benchmark, right? You heard how she answered you. You heard how she did not disparage the conventional medicine. You heard how she will want to know what conventional medicine you went through and why it didn't work, and maybe it was because of your own bodies, like you were lacking some vitamin D. That's why that's why the chemotherapy didn't work as well, because you were missing some stuff. And she would actually give you options so that you can understand how all the different doctors that you've met before, the different drugs you've taken before, the drugs work better, how to get rid of the side effects after you've recovered from the condition.
Yes.
Yeah, right? Correct?
Correct.
Right. We sometimes drugs is necessary, but we don't want to live with after effects. So
yes, true.
So the treatment doesn't stop with the stoppage of the drugs. It's like when you don't need the drugs anymore, it doesn't mean your treatment is stopped, because now you've got to work on reversing any of the side effects, short or long term, from the drug, right? And that's
true.
It's really powerful. So again, hearing Doc Meddie, you need to find an integrative doctor that sounds like her. Or you can go and look for her if you are especially if you're in Quezon City, all right? Because that's where her clinic is going to be located. And I hope this helps everybody. I hope it gives a glimpse to those who are thinking of going to look for an alternative doctor but don't know how to know whether that's a good doctor or not. I think if you just observe my conversation with Dr. Meddie, her answers and her approach, I think that will give you a very good idea what kind of integrative doctor you should be looking for. So thank you very much, Dr. Meddie.
Thank you, Sean. Thank you for this interview, and thank you for having me.
Did you enjoy it?
You know what? You're the green sheep of your family.
Not the black.
The green sheep, huh?
And thank you very much for sharing your personal story. You know, I before the webinar, I was just talking to Doc Meddie. You know, sometimes those many people think that integrative doctors are the ones that couldn't make it in med school. But I want to share with everybody that, and especially to our SimplyNature clients and patients, you know, all the doctors that we work with, they went into integrative or alternative. The ones that we work with are not because they couldn't make it in med school. The story is the same. They are actually excellent doctors, top of their field, but they reached the border of what their knowledge could do, and they wanted to explore something because of a loved one. You know, Doc Meddie, really, your story is the same. Actually, all the great and good integrative doctors, it's the same story. It's always a loved one, right?
Yes.
And it's like the title of our webinar. Conventional medicine just reached its limit. Even because the doctors discharge your loved ones, saying, oh, there's nothing more we can do. But then you shouldn't abandon logic and jump into desperation. I think your search for a cure should still be logical, evidence-based, right? It shouldn't. And Doc Meddie has illuminated us in this. So, all right. So, Doc, when is your clinic your new clinic gonna be ready?
Oh, the new clinic in Quezon City will be ready for grand launching maybe this May if the quarantine is lifted, or maybe June, depends on the quarantine. So I am really hoping that this crisis that we are in right now will end soon. So we are going to return actually to our old lives, or maybe create our new life, the new normal.
New life, better version.
Normal.
All right, thank you very much, Doc Meddie.
Thank you, Sean.
Yeah, and those of you who are using SimplyNature PPARs and you want to find a doctor who can flow, because Doc Meddie uses our products as well, especially for the cancer patients as well. So if you are looking for a doctor, just drop us a note. We will hook you up with you. All right. Thank you so much, Doc.
Thank you, Sean.
Okay.
Take care.